Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby. I'm with Fitness is Medicine. Today I'm going to give you another great workout you can do in your home. We're going to use a tube or a band. I've got mine set in the door for a row, so about chest height. If you've been doing these with me for a while, let's try to up it just a little bit. Try the next band up, or maybe add a really lighter band to the heavier band that you're using to give you a little bit more resistance. And you're also going to need a set of dumbbells and one other band that's not quite as strong as the one you're going to use for rows. So other than that, we're just going to use body weight. So make sure you get warmed up before you come into this workout and come in ready to move. All right, here we go. So we're going to start with a row today. I like to work our large muscle groups first. So we're going to start here. I'm going to have you stand today. You can also sit on a chair or sit on a ball if you prefer. If you do stand in a good athletic stance, like you're ready to move. So my knees are bent, my hips are back just a touch. I'm not in a full squat. I'm just doing, giving my body the support it needs to do the exercise. So I'm starting with my arms straight, my shoulders down. I'm going to squeeze back and squeeze my shoulder blades at the same time. All right, I added a little resistance to mine today. So you may need to really use that athletic stance to brace just a little bit. Now I want you to go nice and slow both directions. Slowly. As you pull back, envision squeezing those shoulder blades towards your spine. 8, nice and slow. 9, make those muscles control it. 10, okay, good. Okay, now we're going to do a side lunge. So the last lunges I think that we did were reverse lunges. So a great way to do these is next to a kitchen counter where you can use the sink to sit back, or like the treadmill handle works really well too, or a long railing if you have a sturdy one that you don't mind pulling on just a little bit. So what you're going to do is you're going to step out to the side. And the reason I want you to use, like a desk or something is so that you can really sit back. So just pull on that just a tad so that you're really sitting back. So when I sit into my side lunge, I'm going back, my knee is staying over my ankle, giving that the support that it needs and coming back up. If this is the first time you've done these, you can start slow and just do some side steps. Kind of weight shift out to the side, see how that feels. Continue with that same form though. You're sticking your hips back, your knee stays right over your ankle, no matter how big of a lunge you're doing here. If you've done these before and you want to get into that full lunge, really, you're bending this knee, sitting back, like you're going to sit down into a chair, this one stays straight. You can also add a little weight to this if you want. Try to keep your torso up nice and tall, so watch across the room, watch in a mirror, or watch something. You don't want to be down here. So watching, keeping your head up, keeping your torso nice and tall. You can add a weight to this. If you're used to this exercise, you can take it and opposite here, a little reach with a weight. If you want to add a little bit more difficulty to this one, we're going to do one more on each side. Getting those big, large muscle groups, getting your legs moving, getting that calorie burn going. All right, good. So those are side lunges. Now we're going to lower down to the ground and do a plank. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. You can do it on a countertop if this is hard, like right at your kitchen sink if you've been using that for your lunges. You can do it on a kitchen chair or a bench, so you're elevated a little bit more. I'm going to do mine on the floor. Also, you can do it on your hands or your elbows. I'm going to do mine on my hands today. And you want to focus on having your hands directly beneath your shoulders. If you start on your hands and knees like this, you step one foot back, step the other foot back, and hold. So the goal is to keep those shoulders over your hands. I have a lot of people who kind of want to do this. Really try to keep that straight line right over your hands, keeping your head in line with your spine. So we don't want to be looking up like this or down like this. If you need to, set one knee down, come back up, you can set the other knee down. If you just can't hold this, hold it on your knees. That's okay, but the position is the same. So it's still a nice flat line from my knees to the top of my head. So let's go 10 more seconds. And then if this is something that you are finding that you're improving on and you want to try a little longer, you can try 35 seconds, 40 seconds. All right, good. Right now my goal is to do 45 or 30 seconds. Hi, Tubby Bear. Tubby came in to help. The puppy was going to be in here, but he was trying to chew all of my weights. So he had to go upstairs. Okay, next we're gonna do some bicep curls. So grab those dumbbells that I told you about. I've got my puppy blankets over here, you can see. And we're gonna focus on slow today with these bicep curls. So if you can, let's do these in a tandem stance. I always like to add a little bit of instability. So one foot right in front of the other. Set those shoulders back before you start. Curl up and then slowly curl down. Now, make sure you get a nice straight elbow at the end there. So we don't want to stop here and then go back up, so we're not getting the full range of motion. Keep those shoulders down and back, getting a full range of motion all the way down to the bottom. If you find that you may not have heavy enough weights to really challenge you here, go even slower and maybe do a few more repetitions. So we're going to aim for 10 here. I kind of grabbed the weights that I typically use. Keep breathing. And like I said in the past, I'd rather have you grab just a little bit too light of weight than a little bit too heavy. Because right now, notice that my torso is staying steady. If I've grabbed weights that are getting way too heavy and I start doing this, it puts my back, it compromises my back. So I want to stay nice and strong, just using my arms. My abs are having to stabilize some, especially as it gets hard near the end. Okay, set those weights down. Remember to always bend your knees, use good form when you're putting your weights down, picking them up. Many times I see people use really good form during the exercise, and then they go and they plop their weights down on the floor. So be careful of your backs and your knees. Okay, balance. We're going to do a starfish. So again, I recommend doing this at your desk or a kitchen counter, somewhere where you can grab on if you're going to lose your balance. Start small. So here, I just want you to kind of tip your torso off center. We're going to stand strong on this one leg. As you feel that you can, try to tip a little further. So if you're finding that this isn't too hard, tip a little further. But like I said, stay next to something that you can grab onto if you do start to lose your balance. Also, you can just step and put your foot down, but if you're losing your balance one way or the other. So our goal is to hold this for about 30 seconds. Now, this is going to get a little bit of oblique here because we're leaning off to the side, and we're also getting a good hip stabilizer here. So this gets quite a bit just holding this position. So we're getting the balance with the feet and the toes and your ankles and your leg muscles. Your hips are having to stabilize, holding you in this position, and your obliques are holding you from falling over. All right, good, rest. Now we're going to switch sides. So remember, just start small. Usually one side is a little bit harder than the other. So you might notice that one side you might not be able to go quite as far, and that's okay. It's pretty common. We're not always, we're kind of lopsided. We usually have one side that's a little more difficult than the other. So if you do, give yourself some grace, it's okay. Just work on that one, it's okay. Remember, be somewhere where you can hang on. Breathe, keep those shoulders back. Good, about 5 more seconds. All right, good, relax. Okay, For the last one, we're going to do a shoulder stabilization exercise. Shoulder external rotation. So that rotator cuff, keeping that strong, keeping our postural muscles. I talk about, how much we're doing this during the day. Maybe you're on your computer or your phone or you're reading or writing. Pulling back, keeping nice and tall, working on those postural muscles. So this is one that is good for your postural muscles and your rotator cuff. We'll do this in a tandem stance as well if you're able. So put your hands at a 90-degree angle or your arms at a 90-degree angle, just like this. Your elbows are stuck in your sides and your palms are up like you're holding a platter. Now grab that band and you're just pulling apart just a little bit. So as I pull apart, I'm keeping that 90-degree angle. I'm keeping my chin tucked, my shoulders pulled back. Not really pulled back, but in a good tall postural position. This is not a very big movement. So notice I'm only moving a couple inches both directions. I don't want you taking it and going way out here. That's unnecessary, and it can be hard on your shoulders. So if you find that your band is not very strong, you can always double it up and pull apart that way. Or if you find your band is just way too strong, just give it a little bit more slack. And like I said, you don't have to pull it apart very far. All right, good. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions on any of these or if you need any substitutions, and go ahead and go through them 2 to 3 times. If you're able, you can do 4. It's not going to be harmful for you. If you find yourself with more time and you want to add a little cardio in between each set to get your heart rate up and keep that calorie burn going, that would be a great way to do it. And let me know if you have any questions or comments. Thanks everybody, keep moving. I'll see you next time.